This
discussing
conference
regarding
will
the
now be recorded.
procurement department activities or the processes. Okay, so procurement department will be normally into the procurement of materials. There are various types of materials in an organization, like raw materials, semi-finished materials, spare parts, etc. So all those materials will be procured by the procurement department. Procurement department will be activating or processing some 16 to 18 different business processes. All those business processes will be part of addressed by the SAP materials management as a software. So apart from that, procurement department is also into one of the other type of activity known as a service procurement. When I say service procurement, what is the difference between the service procurement and the materials procurement? Service procurement, can anyone tell what is the difference between a material and the service? Okay, so the difference between the material and the service is materials will have the physical appearance. Okay, so material will have a physical appearance, right? Let us say I am trying to buy a 1,000 liters of petrol. Then I will be able to physically view that particular petrol as a material. But what is service? Service will not have any physical appearance. Like what and all the services that I am going to buy in an organization, the services are various types of services will be buying in an organization. Let us say online training services or training services is one of the service which will be buying in the organizations. Also machinery maintenance services. In my company there is a machinery which came into a breakdown. So I don't have any person who will be able to do the maintenance of a particular machine in my company. So what I have to do as a production department person or the plant maintenance person, I need to call one of the external person who will be able to do the servicing of that particular machinery. So he will be coming into our company premises, then doing the repairing of that particular machine, so that once he completed the servicing of a machine, we will be able to make some amount of money to that particular person. Okay, let us say one of the simplest example of the services, painting services. In my company, there are various types of buildings, and I wanted to do the painting of a particular building. Then what I will do, I will call one of the external painter who will be coming into my company premises and doing the painting services. So to do the painting services, I will be providing per square feet, let us say 100 rupees is the painting charges. If he did the 100 square feet of painting, then I will be paying 100 multiplied by 100 equal to a 10,000 rupees of service charges I am going to pay to him as a painting service charges. So like that, in my company there will be various types of services. All those services I will be able to procure from the external vendors based upon the requirement. So when it comes to the service procurement, SAP Materials Management will also support as a software for the procurement of the services along with the procurement of the materials. So we have solutions available in SAP MM for the services as well. Any doubts on the service? What exactly the meaning of the service and how many types of services that you are going to buy in an organization? Any doubts? Or any doubts on the material procurement which we discussed yesterday? Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, as of now, there is no queries. Thank you.
Okay. So then, apart from the material procurement and the service procurement, in a procurement department, there are other activities also happening. Not only other activities, there will be one more department, which will be called as the inventory management department or the stores department. Inventory management or stores department, right? So what is the use of the stores department? The use of the stores department is whatever may be the materials that I am buying by using the services of a procurement department required to be stored in my company before utilizing them into the production processes. Whatever may be the materials I am buying into my company, I need to store them in a proper condition. I should not keep the materials outside the company or within the premises of the company where I don't have any proper place to store them, or they don't have the proper conditions to store them. Why? Because materials are nothing but a money only. You are paying money and someone person, and he is going to give you the materials, right? So in the bank you are storing the money directly, but when it comes to the stores department, you are storing the materials are nothing but indirectly a money only. Okay, so you are paying the money to some person and he is delivering the materials to you. So when it comes to the materials or the stores department is acting as a bank, right? In the bank you are storing the money directly, but in case of the inventory management or the stores department, 1 minute, I am getting one call. Hello. Okay, so in the stores department, I am storing the materials, but the materials are nothing but indirectly a money only. So when I am storing the money in the warehouse or the storage department, I need to take proper care of these particular materials. Nobody should come and steal the materials within the storage department. Also, I need to maintain a proper accounting of the materials which I am storing. Okay, proper accounting means how many materials I have received into my company and how many materials are consumed in my production processes. Okay, what exactly the total inventory value of the materials which I am having as on today. So all those things I need to properly maintain as a accounting for the materials which I am storing, so that I will be able to utilize these materials in my production processes quite efficiently. Okay, so to maintain the inventory in a storage department, there will be various types of transactions you are going to perform on the day-to-day basis. One transaction is you will be receiving the materials into the storage department. You are going to register that particular receipt in the SAP system, as well as when you are consuming these materials, you are going to consume and do the various transactions that are related to the consumption of these materials, etc. Also, you will be generating as the in charge of the storage department various types of reports and circulating these reports around the company, so that everybody will be having how much quantity of the material that you have, and everyone will have the visibility of the materials that are available in your company, so that the planning will be done properly. So whatever may be the activities that are being executed in the warehouse or the storage department will be addressed by SAP Materials Management as a software. Okay, so these and all the normal procurement related activities and the inventory management related activities that are happening in an organization, all these things will be supported by SAP MM as a software. Okay, then there are various types of softwares that are available in the market. Not only SAP, we have so many other softwares which will be called as enterprise resource planning softwares. All those softwares will also support the materials management or the procurement department related activities along with the stores or the inventory management departments. But what are the advantages of SAP compared to the other softwares, we will see. Okay, so as on today we have various types of softwares available in the market. Like we have Oracle. Oracle is one of the software that is available in the market. Oracle is developed by the Oracle Corporation. Oracle Corporation. Okay, so it was observed that Oracle is quite good in providing the solutions for the finance department related activities. In my company, if I wanted to have one software which should be able to implement for the finance department, then I will go for the Oracle software. Why? Because it was observed that Oracle is having the quite good solutions in terms of finance related activities. Then what is the other software which we have in the market? We have JD Edwards. JD Edwards is one of the software. Along with the JD Edwards also will be called as a PeopleSoft. Also, this can be called as AS400. So JD Edwards, it was observed that JD Edwards also is now presently owned by the Oracle Corporation only, but it was observed that JD Edwards is quite good in providing the solutions for human resource management department related processes or functionalities. It is quite good in providing the solutions for human resource department related processes or functionalities. Apart from JD Edwards, we also have one of the software in the market that is known as the Microsoft Dynamics. So Microsoft Dynamics, it was observed that it is quite good in providing the solutions for the sales department related activities. In my company, if I am having the sales department and I wanted to have one software which will provide the solutions for the sales department, so I will go for the Microsoft Dynamics. Why? Because Microsoft Dynamics is having quite good solutions in terms of sales and distribution. Okay, then what else we have? We have the other softwares known as Tally. Tally is one of the software which is quite good in providing the solutions for medium size and mid-sized organizations. I think you might have heard about the Tally. So it will provide the solutions for medium and mid-size organizations. So if you have doubts in understanding any one of the subjects, so you please stop me at any moment of time so that we will be able to discuss further. Okay, so then we have some of the other softwares, like we have Sibel is one of the software, we have Care 5000 is one of the software, and BAN is one of the software. So like that, there are various types of software that are available in the market. All those softwares are quite good in providing solutions for medium size or mid size organizations. Size organizations. Okay, then what about SAP? So apart from these softwares, we also have one of the ERP package known as SAP, right? So what are the advantages of SAP compared to the above softwares? Why it is that much popular? Okay, can anyone tell me what is the full form of SAP? What is full form of SAP? Anyone knows? Any idea what is full form of SAP? Can you hear
Uh,
me? Yeah.
system application processor. I'm not sure.
Okay, so it is systems, applications,
Product.
and products in data processing. Data processing. Okay. SAP is nothing but systems, applications, and products in data processing. Okay, what are the advantages of SAP compared to the other softwares? Why it is having that much of demand nowadays? So the advantages of SAP is advantage number one. Advantage number one of SAP is SAP provide solutions, means you will be able to do the transactions in multiple languages. Means by default, I will be able to log in into the SAP system. If I know English, I can do the transactions in terms of English as well. But if I don't know any English as a main language, I know only some of the country specific languages like Germany and Japanese or Chinese languages, then I will be able to perform the transactions in the SAP in terms of country specific languages as well. So the first advantage of SAP is SAP supports by default English as a language. Apart from English, it also supports country specific languages. Languages like Germany and Japanese, etc., or Chinese language. So how it will support? Let me show it to you in the SAP system. This is just for your understanding purpose only. Okay, but we are going to discuss the detailed discussion upon SAP, how to log in into the SAP system, etc. Okay, so if you want to log in into the SAP system, you need to have one of the user interface downloaded. Okay, so if you want to log in into the SAP system, you need to have one user interface downloaded. So this is nothing but one of the interface. You can see one icon on the desktop, right? So here you see there is one thing known as a SAP logon. So if I want to log on into the SAP system, I just need to double click on this user interface, nothing but a graphical user interface. This will be called as a GUI. GUI, when I say GUI, it is nothing but a graphical user interface. The full form of the GUI is graphical user interface. Okay, so let me double click on the icon. If I want to log in into the SAP system, I will just double click on icon. So when I click on this particular SAP logon icon, so this is the type of screen which is going to be open over here. Then if I want to log in into the SAP system, every person will be provided with one of the user ID and the password details, like how I am going to log in into the Gmail account. If I want to log in into the Gmail account, I will be having the user ID and the password details. By using the user ID and the password, I will be able to log in into the SAP system. In the same way, before logging into the SAP system, we need to have the server details maintained over here, for which I am trying to connect. Let us say this is one of the server which is provided for me to have the access to the SAP system. So this application server number is 49.207.9.23, and instance number is 41, system ID is the ECC. So these are the details which I need to maintain before logging into the SAP system. This is one time activity only. Okay, so you need not to maintain each and every time, but whenever you are provided with the SAP access, then only you need to maintain the server details and the instance number and the system ID details. Okay, so let me click on OK button. When I click on OK button, and later I need to double click on this particular icon, SAP Online. I will just double click on it over here. When I double click on it here, so the SAP logon screen will be opening over here. So here I will be having the user ID and the password. So this is one of the user ID provided for me. So I will use this particular user ID. My user ID is Rafi and the password provided is India123. I will just click on enter button. When I click on enter button, this is the type of screen which is opening over here, so that you will be able to perform the transactions within this particular screen. Okay, let us say I wanted to do the transactions in SAP system in English, right? So see over here, every heading and all those things are available here in English. So I will be able to perform the transactions. Since I know English, I will be able to perform the transactions by going through the system in the language as a SAP English, right? So let us say I am the person who wants to create. I am the person working in the procurement department. My roles and responsibilities are to create a purchase order. So like this, I will be entering all the details that are relevant for the purchase order, and I am trying to create a purchase order. But here if you see, each and every icon or the field is visible in terms of English only as a language. Okay. Now I don't know the English, but I wanted to perform the transactions in terms of Germany as a language. Then what I have to do? I need to log in into the SAP system with the language as a Germany key. Okay, so I will just double click on it over here, and my user ID is the Rafi and the password is India123. Oh, sorry. So here you have one thing known as language, right? So here you have one thing known as logon language. So I just need to specify this particular logon language as a DE. DE is nothing but a Germany language. So I just need to click on enter button if I wanted to do the transactions in Germany. I will just double click on Germany. Okay, when I click on enter button, this type of screen will be coming over here. I will click on OK. So you see over here now you are able to see the headings over here in terms of Germany language, right? So just click on it over here, but I don't know the Germany language, but I am trying to visualize based upon my previous experience. So let us say this is nothing but the materials management, and this is nothing but the purchasing. So I will go to the purchase requisition creation or purchase order creation. See here, this is nothing but a purchase order creation. It will go to the same screen, but here you are able to see the transactions in terms of language as Germany. Okay, so this is the way you will be able to perform the transactions in multiple languages when it comes to the SAP based upon your understanding of the language. Okay, so the first and foremost advantage of SAP is SAP provides solutions, and for the transactions, English as a main or the first level of language. Apart from that, if you also wanted to have the activities performed, you can do the activities performed in country specific languages like Japanese or Germany as well. This is one of the first and foremost advantage. Other softwares also, they will provide you the solutions in English as well as the country specific languages, but there are quite a many other advantages compared to the other softwares with the SAP for SAP. Okay, so then what is the advantage number 2? So advantage number 2 is SAP will provide the solutions for the solutions which are common around the world. Provide solutions which are common around the world. Like when I say solutions common around the world, procurement, let us say you want to buy a material from one of the domestic vendor. Let us say I have one company known as company number 1, and I am buying the materials which are required for my company from one of the vendor who is located in India. So to buy the materials for a company 1, I will be following one process, right? Same process I can also follow in the, if I am belongs to a company number 2, country number 2, that is a company number 2, and it is located in USA. So I can use the procurement process if I am buying a material from the vendor who is located in USA and the plant or the company who is located in USA. I will be using some processes, so it will have various steps included in it, and those same processes which are almost equal to the company that is located in India. So the business process is same, even it is US or even it is India, the business process is same. But when it comes to the tax related activities, okay, let us say there are some country specific requirements or the solutions, right? Like when you see tax, right, in India we are using the tax structure as GST, but if you go to the Brazil, in Brazil you are not going to use the GST. Instead you are going to use the some of the country specific Brazil tax related activities or the solutions like VAT, etc., right? So in India we also have some 3 to 4 years back, GST was not there. At that time we were having the VAT and education cess. There are so many other tax conditions are there, right? So even though during 3 to 4 years of back, SAP was able to provide the solutions for tax related activities in terms of VAT, VAT and CVD and education cess, etc. Okay, but nowadays VAT, CVD, education cess, etc. is now completely removed, and we are using the GST software now for the tax related solutions. So SAP was able to provide the solutions for the 3 years back as well as a tax related solutions for country India. And today, even though you changed from previous tax structure to the GST and CGST, SAP is still able to provide the solutions for the GST as well. But it also will be able to provide, let us say if you are implementing the software in Brazil, the tax structure is the VAT, right? So SAP will be able to provide the solutions for the country specific tax structures VAT as well in case of the Brazil. So that means it provides the solutions which are common around the world, and it also provides the solutions for country specific requirements. Country specific requirements like taxes. In India you are using the separate tax, in US you are using the separate tax, so it will be able to support both the country related tax structures or the tax solutions as a software. Then what is the other advantage of the SAP system? Advantage number 3. So the advantage number 3 of the SAP system is it has tight security controls. Tight or strongest security controls. So what is security control? Security control is nothing but, let us say I am the person working in the procurement department, right? I should be only eligible to do the transactions related to the procurement department, like the creation of the purchase requisition, creation of the purchase order, or any other activity that belongs to the procurement only. I should not be doing the activities related to the finance. Since I belongs to the only procurement department, I should have access to the procurement related transactions only. I shouldn't be having the access to the finance related transactions or production department related transactions. But how this will be controlled in SAP system? For unnecessary transactions which I don't want to use on my daily activities. So this will be controlled by one of the functionality known as the roles and authorizations matrix. So SAP is having the roles and authorization matrix control very strongly. So by using the roles and authorizations matrix, I will be able to control and do not provide the unnecessary access to the relevant people. So SAP is having the highest strong security controls. That is the meaning. Based upon the type of activities which I am performing in my company, SAP will provide the access to me for those transactions only. Then what is advantage number 4? So advantage number 4 of the SAP system is it has strongest integration between different modules. What is strongest integration? Strongest integration is nothing but if I do some activity in the SAP materials management, it will have implications at the finance module in some cases. Most of the cases, it will have the implications at the finance module. It is an integrated package. When I say integrated package, the integration between different modules will be quite strong. Means in my SAP materials management, if I perform one activity, whatever may be the SAP materials management related transactions which I did, it will have implications in the finance module for some time. For some time, it will have the implications in the production planning. For some time, it will have implications on the sales and distribution. So it is all depending upon what type of activity I am trying to perform, and that particular relevant activity will have the implications of the integration activities between specific module. So SAP is having one of the strongest integration functionalities. I will not be able to deviate the process. Let us say in other softwares, what will happen? If you want to bypass the process for a particular functionality, you can bypass it. But in SAP system, you will not be able to bypass the process which is mapped in SAP system. If you are bypassing, then you will be caught. So everywhere there will be a recording, whatever may be the activity you are performing, when you performed, what is the time at which you performed this particular activity, everything will be captured as a timestamp. So you will not be having a provision to bypass the process. At any cost, you need to stick to the by process only, so that you need to perform the activities in a optimized manner. Then what is the advantage number 4? Yeah, any doubts?
As you mentioned that we need to stick to the other process, so will there be any SOP for this, which we need to follow for the procedure?
Yes, yes, you will come to know, right? So when
Okay,
you are doing the transactions in SAP, so every training will be provided. You will have the user manuals created. So based upon the user manuals, you are going to follow the process till you get some understanding of the exact process.
okay,
Once you are familiarized with the process, how you need to work upon SAP system, what and all the steps you want to execute, so then it will be fine. You can automatically start working upon your own. But there will be a SOP, I can say, not SOP, it will be a user manual. We say in SAP when we are working for SAP system, SAP projects, we will say it is a user manual.
okay.
Okay, so any other doubts? Okay, then what is the advantage number 5? Advantage number 5 is SAP is having a strong client server architecture. What is client server architecture? So we will see what exactly the client server architecture, but what is the presently used client server architecture in SAP system? What is the latest one? So the latest client server architecture is the SAP R3 architecture. What is SAP R3? So the full form of SAP R3 is SAP real time. R is nothing but a real time 3-tier architecture. Okay, so SAP real time 3-tier architecture is nothing but the SAP R3 architecture. This is one of the latest architecture which is being used by the SAP. When I say 3-tier architecture, what and all the elements are the layers that are available in the 3-tier architecture? So the 3-tier architecture is having 3 layers in data processing. So layer number 1 is the presentation layer. And the layer number 2 is the application layer. Okay. And layer number 3 is the database layer. So this is one of the interview question which will be asked by the interviewer. So they will say, what is SAP R3 architecture and what and all the layers that are available in the SAP R3 architecture? Then you need to say SAP R3 is nothing but a real-time 3-tier client server architecture. So when I say R3, it has 3 layers included in it. That is the presentation layer, then application layer and the database layer. Okay, what is presentation layer? Presentation layer will enable the user, right? Presentation layer is one of the first and foremost layer in SAP. It enables, it provides access to the SAP systems. It provides access to the SAP systems so that users will be able to log in into the SAP and do their work. Users will be able to log in into SAP, and perform the transactions. So we already discussed how a user will be able to log in into the SAP system. First, I need to download the which is nothing but a presentation layer. So first I need to download the graphical user interface. So if I want to log in into the SAP system, then configure the server details, system ID and the instance number. Then I just need to double click on into this particular icon. Then provide the user ID and the password details. So these are the user ID and the password details that are being provided to me. So I will just click on enter button. By default, it is going to be logging into the English as a language. I will just click on it over here. Then, so this is nothing but the presentation layer. Presentation layer is nothing but a layer which enables users to do the transactions on their day-to-day activities. Let us say I am the production department person or the procurement department person. I wanted to do one creation of the purchase order. Let us say where I will create the purchase order. I will go to the logistics, then materials management, then purchasing, purchase order, create. I will go to the ME21N transaction code. ME21N transaction code is the transaction code which will be used to create the purchase order. Okay, so this is nothing but a presentation layer which is helping the user by providing the access to the SAP systems so that they will be able to do the transactions on their day-to-day basis. Okay, let me try to create one purchase order. Okay, let me try to create one simple purchase order. Okay, we are going to learn all these things in our coming sessions, but for today's class, I just want to show it to you how a how a presentation layer is helping the users to do the transactions on their day-to-day basis. Okay, so I just have entered all the mandatory fields over here so that I will be able to create one purchase order. There is some issue with this. Okay, let me see what exactly the vendor code over here. I think okay, let me see if there is any purchase order created by me yesterday so that accordingly I will try to do it. Okay, so this is just for your understanding purpose. Okay, don't get confused. We will see all these things when we are discussing the regular classes. So I am trying to check what exactly the purchase order that I have created yesterday. Okay, so that I will be able to reference the same and I can create one more transaction of the purchase order. So this is one of the purchase order which is being created by me yesterday. So I will try to create in the same way. Okay, so I will go to the 23N. Okay, so I will go to the creation of the purchase order. Means let us say I am the person working in the procurement department. So my system is providing the access to the SAP in this format, and I will be able to do the transactions accordingly. N49. Okay, so let me quickly create it. Material is Z100. Quantity, net price as 10, and IN47 is the client, right? So this way, I will be able to perform the transactions by using the SAP screens. Okay, let me now check and save it. Okay, so this is nothing but the presentation layer, which is helping the users by providing the access to the SAP system so that he will be able to perform the transactions on the day-to-day basis. Then what is application layer? Application layer is nothing but the back-end programming part, which will trigger various types of programs when I am trying to save this particular purchase requisition or the order, and I am trying to execute this particular purchase order. Let us say I will remove this thing, net price, and I will click on enter button. So what is saying? Net price might be greater than 0. That means it is saying you are trying to create a purchase order, but when you are trying to create a purchase order, you haven't maintained one of the mandatory field, nothing but the price. You need to maintain the price, then only I will be able to allow you to save this particular purchase order. That is what is the meaning. But how this is happening, this particular validation is happening. This particular validation is happening between, let us say if I put some price over here and click on enter, that message is now gone, right? I will just click on check. So it says, okay, your purchase order is completely fine, it says. But if I remove this particular price over here, it will say you will not be able to save the purchase order. Why? Because the net price is not maintained for this particular purchase order. How these validations are happening? These validations are happening within the backend programming that is being executed. So I just want to show it to you a program, how it is getting executed. I will go to the /h button and click on enter. So when I click on /h and click on enter, so you will be able to see the program that is being triggered to validate this particular purchase order. So this particular programming part where the system is trying to create some validations to the purchase order which I am trying to create will be called as the application layer. Application layer is nothing but a backend programming part where various types of programs are getting executed based upon the type of transaction which you are executing or doing. So it is nothing but a backend programming part. So there are various types of programs, thousands of programs that are available in SAP. So based upon the transaction you are performing, all these programs will be triggered accordingly. Okay, then what is database layer? So database layer we will discuss on tomorrow's class. If you have any doubts on today's session, so that we will be able to spend some 2 to 3 minutes of time. Any doubts on today's session? Hello? If you have any doubts, so that we can discuss some period of time. Any doubts on today's session? So we are going to have at least some 3 to 4 classes, theory part only. Once the theory part is completed, then we are going to get into the SAP functionalities.
As you mentioned in the application layer that there will be a background program check, right? So the programs also we need to like perform, or they will be already in the system.
SAP by default will provide some of the programs, but if you want to develop any custom program, you can develop the custom program with the help of the technical team. So there will be one group of people who will be doing the programming part. So you can take the help from them and you can develop.
Okay.
So any other questions? Okay, so if there is no questions, we can continue further tomorrow. Thanks for joining the call. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.